Darren had spent most of his adult life wrapped in plates of powered armor. The suit was more than metal. It was protection, strength, and a reminder that humans who traveled far from their homeworld had to earn every step. Out among the stars, nothing was guaranteed. Yet on this night, inside a quiet chamber aboard the long-range exploration ship Resolute, Darren lay without that familiar shell. For the first time in months, his armor rested across the room on a maintenance rack. The weight of it no longer pressed on his shoulders or buzzed against his spine. He could feel his own heartbeat again. He had been told the chamber was safe. The crew had confirmed it. Scanners showed no threats. The air was warm and clean, but his instincts still whispered warnings. A soldier who had served through the frontier wars did not shed vigilance just because someone else said the perimeter was secure. Still, exhaustion had its own gravity. Darren was asleep within minutes, drifting deeper than he expected. He did not hear the soft steps approaching Dot in the far corner of the chamber. Something shimmered. A ripple of faint blue light spread outward, forming the outline of a tall figure with a strange, regal grace. The figure solidified into a woman-like shape. Her skin glowed with a pearlescent sheen. Her eyes, dark and reflective, captured every detail of the room in a single glance. Faint trails of bioluminescence ran across her arms and down her spine like living circuitry. She was the queen of her people, but to humans she was known by a simple title, Queen Liara. Liara studied the sleeping human. She had expected to meet him in the strategy hall, surrounded by his armored companions and alert advisors. Humans usually saw negotiation as another form of battle. Yet here he lay unprotected, vulnerable. It stirred a complex emotion in her mind. Curiosity, respect, something almost like admiration. Though her species rarely used that word, she stepped closer. Darren shifted in his sleep. A faint sound escaped him, a quiet sigh from deep in his chest. Liara paused and watched the rise and fall of his breathing. Humans were loud, expressive, and bold. Yet in sleep they seemed fragile. She remembered what her advisors had said. Human persistence was the most dangerous force the galaxy had ever known. They endured battles no other species would survive. They rebuilt worlds others abandoned. They found strength in unity, even when arguments filled their councils. They stood firm where others retreated. She had seen enough to believe all this was true, but she had also seen the rumors of Darren. He had faced 2 of her elite guards during the first encounter on the border world. Not to conquer, not to escalate, only to protect a group of unarmed settlers trapped during a communications failure. He saved all of them without spilling a drop of blood. His restraint impressed her court and troubled her generals. Humans were dangerous. Yet this one chose mercy. That was why she had come. To speak with him alone. To understand him before she committed her people to decisions that might shift the balance of the frontier forever. Liara approached until she stood at the side of his bed. Her hand hovered. She wondered how warm human skin was. She wondered why she cared. Darren woke. It was not sudden, not violent. His eyes opened slowly, scanning the dim chamber. When he saw her, he froze, but not in fear, more in measured caution. His hand reached toward the bedside, where his armor controls usually hung, but he found nothing. For the first time in years, he faced an unknown presence without technology, without weapons, and without the thick plates of protection that had become like a second skin. Liara tilted her head. Her voice was soft. Do not fear me. Darren sat up. He kept his posture steady. You walked through our security, he said. That takes skill. Your ship is impressive, but not impenetrable, Liara replied. And I came not for conflict. Most who break into a soldier's chamber come for one reason, Darren said. He did not raise his voice. He did not reach for a weapon he did not have. His calmness was its own kind of strength, I came to speak, Lyara said. I wish to see you without the metal shell humans. Always wear around me. He frowned slightly. That shell keeps my people alive. Lyara nodded. I understand. But I wish to see the one who saved my citizens on the border world. I wish to see the human who fights with purpose rather than pride. Therein studied her glowing form. She looked striking yet strange. Her presence filled the chamber with a quiet pressure, like standing at the edge of a deep ocean. He could not predict her intentions. He could only react with sincerity. You crossed into a human ship at night, he said. That sends a message whether you mean to or not. I know, she replied. But I could not wait for another formal meeting. Your commanders would fill the room with tension and measured words. I want truth. I want clarity. I came because I need to understand why humans, who have claimed so many star systems already, continue to push outward. Darren rose from the bed. He stood barefoot on the metal floor, feeling more exposed than he had in years. Yet he did not step back. You think we push outward for conquest, he said. His voice carried a steady tone. That is not why we explore. Then why? Lyara asked. Because the universe is enormous. And humans are curious. Because we grow. Because we want to spread knowledge, not domination. When we settle worlds, we bring soil, seeds, medicine, and learning. We build shelters not only for ourselves. Our colonies often open their doors to travelers from any species. We help others rise. We do not want a throne. Lyara walked around him slowly, studying the movement of his muscles as he breathed. Humans were built for endurance. Her people recorded that humans could run for hours where most species collapsed in minutes. They survived cuts, infections, radiation, and low oxygen. Even their minds resisted mental intrusion. Yet what impressed her most now was not how strong he looked without armor. It was how calm he stood in her presence. If you wish peace, she said, why do so many of your ships patrol near our space dot? Because our settlers live near your borders, Darren replied. And they trust us to protect them. We do not seek battle, but we are not naive. We know the frontier is a place where misunderstanding can spark fire. Lyara, pause. Fire burns both sides. Darren nodded. It does. A quiet moment passed. Lyara moved to the viewing window on the far wall. The stars beyond glowed like scattered crystals. The blue shimmer of her skin reflected in the glass. My people call you a rising storm, she said. But I have watched your kind. You celebrate your dead, but you protect your living with the same devotion. You wage war, yet you build hospitals beside the battleground. You push outward, yet you do not forget the worlds behind you. Humans are contradiction. It fascinates me. Darren joined her at the window, keeping respectful distance. We have made mistakes, he said. No species is perfect. Lyara smiled faintly. Perfection is impossible. Harmony is not. Darren glanced at her. Is that why you came? To test our intentions. Lyara shook her head. No. I came because my council is divided. Some see humans as potential partners. Others see you as a threat. I wish to decide for myself. And you, Darren, represent both sides. You are a warrior who chooses mercy. You carry a weapon, but you also carry compassion. Darren exhaled slowly. I do not know what you expect me to say. I expect nothing, Lyara said. I simply wish to see how you react to vulnerability. You sleep without armor. That means something. Darren gave a short laugh. It means my suit needed repairs. But you allowed yourself to rest. Without it in unfamiliar space, she said. Most soldiers of my people would never do that. Darren looked at her with steady eyes. Sometimes trust is the first step to peace. Lyara felt a shift inside her, a realization forming. Humans valued trust like fuel. It powered their relationships, their alliances, and even their wars. Trust made them fearless. It also made them unpredictable. What would happen, she asked, if my council decided to restrict human expansion entirely? If we demanded your people retreat from the frontier? Darren did not answer immediately. He chose his words carefully. We would negotiate, he said. And if negotiation failed, we would defend our settlers. But we would not strike first. Liara listened closely. His answer was honest, his tone unwavering. She felt no deception. Then she asked a question she had not planned to. Voice, and what would you do if I stood in your path? Darren looked directly at her. I would hope you step aside. Liara felt a tightening in her chest. She was a queen. She was never spoken to like this. Not with defiance. Not with respect. Not with honesty stripped of fear. You are bold, she said. Humans are, Darren replied. But we are also responsible. We want our neighbors to thrive. Liara approached him again. This time she stood close enough that her bioluminescent patterns illuminated his bare arms. He did not flinch. Your people believe in unity, she said. My people believe in stability. Perhaps we can find a path that honors both. Darren nodded. That is why we came to the frontier. To meet others. To learn. To grow together. Liara reached up and touched his arm lightly. The contact was brief, but meaningful. Your skin is warm, she murmured. Darren kept his voice calm. You came to see humanity without metal or weapons. Now you have. Liara withdrew her hand. I see more than that. I see potential. If our species worked together rather than against each other, we could build something greater than either of us alone. Darren felt a stirring of hope. Then let us build it. Liara stepped back, and the blue shimmer around her began to brighten. Then I will return to my council, she said, and I will speak for peace. He nodded again. I will speak to my commander as well. We will find Kamo.